Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I am Valsa Williams with the Midday News. The headlines. BSP and Samajwadi Party to contest UP Assembly by-polls separately. BJP says the alliance was destined to fail. Several union ministers including Nitin Gadkari and Dr. Vardhan take charge of their respective ministries. Karnataka JD president resigns, blames Congress for defeat of senior party leader Deve Gowda from Tumkur. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar says autonomy of Prasar Bharati is important and should be maintained. One case of NIPAH virus infection confirmed in Kerala. Central team reaches the state to tackle the outbreak. And in sports, in the ICC Cricket World Cup, Sri Lanka to take on Afghanistan at Cardiff this afternoon. The Bahujan Samaj Party, BSP, will go alone in the Uttar Pradesh Assembly by-polls. Talking to reporters in New Delhi, party chief Mayawati said it is not a permanent break in alliance with the Samajwadi Party, and if she feels in future that Akhilesh Yadav succeeds in his political work, the two parties will again work together.
It is not a permanent break. If we feel in future that Samajwadi chief succeeds in his political work, we'll again work together. However, if he doesn't succeed, it will be good for us to work separately. So, for now, we have decided to fight the upcoming by-elections in Uttar Pradesh alone.
The BSP chief had asked party workers yesterday not to depend on the alliance to win votes but to improve the party's organization. Responding to the comments by BSP chief Mayawati, Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav has said his party will fight the by-polls alone on all 11 UP Assembly seats if its alliance with the BSP ends. Skill Development Minister and UP BJP President Mahendranath Pandey today said the alliance between SP and BSP for Lok Sabha elections was an opportunistic alliance. Reacting to BSP's decision to go alone in the Uttar Pradesh Assembly by-polls, Mr. Pandey said in New Delhi that what has now happened between the two parties was predestined. Science and Technology Minister Dr. Vardhan, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Minister Nitin Gadkari, Skill Development Minister Mahendranath Pandey and Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises Minister Arvind Sawant assumed charge of their respective offices today. After taking over, Dr. Vardhan said Science and Technology Ministry will strive to bring India among the top 3 scientific nations of the world by 2030. Mr. Gadkari said MSME Ministry will focus on creating more employment opportunities in rural agriculture sector. Pratap Chandra Sarangi also took charge as MOS in the ministry. Mr. Pandey emphasized that the Skill Development Ministry will work vigorously to create more jobs. Mr. Sawant said among the important issues before the government, employment generation will be given high priority as this subject is directly associated with Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises Ministry. The Supreme Court today issued notice to Puducherry Chief Minister V. Narayanasamy in a case involving power tussle in the Union Territory. The Madras High Court had recently held that Lieutenant Governor Kiran Bedi cannot interfere in the day-to-day affairs of the elected government. A vacation bench comprising Justices Indu Malhotra and M.R. Shah also directed that any decision having financial implication which could be taken in the cabinet meeting of 7th June in Puducherry shall not be implemented till the 21st of June. The Apex Court was hearing applications filed by the Centre and Ms. Bedi seeking that the situation prevailing before the High Court's 30th April verdict be restored in the Union Territory since the administration there has come to a standstill. In Karnataka, JDS President H. Vishwanath resigned from his post today owing to the poll debacle in the recent Lok Sabha election. Addressing media persons in Bengaluru, Vishwanath made the announcement saying that he takes moral responsibility for the party winning just one seat in the recently held parliamentary polls. He blamed the Congress for the defeat of Deve Gowda in Tumkur and that of the Chief Minister's son Nikhil from Mandya. Mr. Vishwanath also expressed his unhappiness with Congress leader Siddaramaiah on his functioning as the chairman of the Coordination Committee and preparation of a common agenda for the two partners to run the coalition government in the state. Mr. Vishwanath had assumed the charge of JD as party president in August last year after quitting the Congress. BJP MLA Rajesh Patnekar was elected Speaker of the Goa Legislative Assembly by defeating Congress leader Pratap Singh Rane during the Assembly session convened today. Mr. Patnekar, who represents the Bisholim Assembly constituency, garnered 22 votes over the 16 votes received by the Congress leader. The lone Nationalist Congress Party MLA Churchill Alamau was not present for voting. The post of the Speaker fell vacant after Pramod Sawant became Goa Chief Minister in March this year, following the demise of former Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar. Robert Vadra appeared before the Enforcement Directorate in New Delhi today. He was summoned in connection with a money laundering case linked to alleged illegal purchase of London-based property worth £1.9 million. Vadra has appeared before the agency multiple times in connection with this case and also in another criminal money laundering case related to alleged irregularities of land allotment in Rajasthan's Bikaner. The search continues for the Indian Air Force AN-32 aircraft which went missing after taking off from the Jorhat Air Base in Assam yesterday. Defence sources said 13 people, including a wing commander, a squadron leader and 4 flight lieutenants, were on board the aircraft when it lost contact with ground agencies at 12:25 p.m. yesterday. The Air Force is coordinating with the Army and various government and civil agencies to locate the aircraft in the northeast. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar today said the autonomy of Prasar Bharati is important and should be maintained after flagging off the newly acquired 17 digital satellite news gathering DSNG vans of DD News in New Delhi. Mr. Javadekar said Prasar Bharati should look for new avenues in the era of digital expansion. He said Doordarshan's credibility has increased in the last 5 years.
Our objective is clear. Autonomy of Prasar Bharati is important. It has come through a law. This law was brought after the emergency in order to protect Prasar Bharati's autonomy. We want Prasar Bharati to work smoothly and bring new programs.
Information and Broadcasting Secretary Amit Khare said due to authentic news, Doordarshan and All India Radio are way ahead of other channels. Prasar Bharati Chairman A. Surya Prakash and CEO Shashi Shekhar Vempati were also present on the occasion. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar today appealed to people to plant a sapling on the occasion of World Environment Day tomorrow to protect the environment. Talking to media in New Delhi, Mr. Javadekar asked people to send their selfie after planting a sapling with hashtag #selfiewithsapling. He said the priority of the government is to ensure that a large number of people participate tomorrow towards saving the environment.
Environment is not only a government program. Environment protection is a people's program. And in every program, we are ensuring people's participation. This year's UN theme is Clean Air or Tackle with Air Pollution. So we have already launched Clean Air Mission.
Earlier, Secretary, Ministry of Environment C.K. Mishra had launched the song Hawa Aane De to spread awareness against air pollution. This year, the theme of the Environment Day is air pollution. In Kerala, a college student has been infected with the Nipah virus. State Health Minister K.K. Shailaja today said the results of blood samples which were tested at the National Institute of Virology in Pune have confirmed Nipah. The student has been admitted to a hospital in Kochi. Ms. Shailaja said the condition of the student is stable and he was not put under any support system like ventilator. She said 86 people who have interacted with the student were under medical observation. Meanwhile, a 6-member central team has reached Kerala to tackle the Nipah virus outbreak. A control room has been established and National Centre for Disease Control's Strategic Health Operations Centre is activated. The phone number of the control room is 011 239 78046. Talking to reporters in New Delhi, Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today said he spoke to Kerala Health Minister and assured all possible support from the centre. The minister said he reviewed the public health measures for Nipah virus. A report from our Kochi correspondent.
Kerala Health Minister K.K. Shailaja said that the infected person is stable and is currently undergoing treatment. Presently, 86 people who have interacted with the patient is under observation and directed to seek immediate medical help on developing symptoms. 4 people, including 2 nurses, have been kept under special observation after they showed symptoms of mild fever and throat pain. Meanwhile, Union Health Minister Vardhan took off the situation in Kerala and had assured all possible support to the state.
Whatever needs to be done, it is being done, it has been done, and it will be done. So from your side also, I think it is your responsibility also to ensure that we don't unnecessarily spread panic in the society and the country.
This is Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
Nipah virus is transmitted from animals to humans and spreads through contact. It is associated with fatal encephalitis and respiratory illness. There is no known vaccine against the virus. The Supreme Court today directed Maharashtra to conduct the final round of counselling for admissions to postgraduate medical and dental courses in the state for the academic year 2019-20 and that the process be completed before the 14th of this month. A vacation bench comprising Justices Indu Malhotra and M.R. Shah passed the order on pleas filed by some students seeking fresh round of counselling after redrawing of the merit list for admissions to PG medical and dental courses for 2019-20. The students approached the top court after the apex court stayed the state government's decision to grant 10% quota to students of economically weaker sections in PG medical and dental courses for the current academic year. The bench also directed that no further petition or application with regard to PG medical and dental admissions in Maharashtra for the present academic year will be entertained by any other court. The United Nations Security Council will meet today to discuss the crisis in Sudan after security forces violently broke up weeks of protests against military rule. In the violent incidents, more than 35 people were killed and hundreds injured, according to reports UK and Germany requested for the talks yesterday. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres criticized Sudan's security personnel for using excessive force. US President Donald Trump will meet British Prime Minister Theresa May in London today for what he termed substantial talks on the second day of his 3-day state visit to the UK. Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt will be among the senior ministers present at the talks, where issues such as climate change will be discussed. Domestic stocks witnessed modest losses in afternoon trade today amid negative cues from global markets. The Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange fell 81 points to trade at 40,187 a short while ago. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange slipped 38 points to 12,050. The rupee weakened marginally by 3 paise to 69 rupees 28 paise against the dollar in afternoon deals. And now news from the ICC Cricket World Cup.
Sri Lanka will take on Afghanistan at Cardiff in a short while from now in their second round-robin match. The game will begin at 3 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Both teams had lost their opening games. While Sri Lanka lost to New Zealand by 10 wickets, Afghanistan was beaten by Australia by 7 wickets. Last night, Pakistan defeated hosts England by 14 runs. It was Pakistan's first win in 2 games, while they handed England their first defeat. India will play its opening game tomorrow against South Africa at Southampton. The Proteas have lost both of their first 2 matches. All India Radio will broadcast live commentary on the World Cup every day, starting from tomorrow. In a tweet, Prasar Bharati CEO Shashi Shekhar Vempati said the commentary originated by Akashvani will also be available via internet, streaming on a pilot basis for the first time. Savi Hassan Khan, AIR News.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. BSP and Samajwadi Party to contest UP Assembly by polls separately. BJP says the alliance was destined to fail. Several union ministers, including Nitin Gadkari and Dr. Vardhan, take charge of their respective ministries. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar says autonomy of Prasar Bharati is important and should be maintained. 1 case of Nipah virus infection confirmed in Kerala. Central team reaches the state to tackle the outbreak. And in sports, in the ICC Cricket World Cup, Sri Lanka to take on Afghanistan at Cardiff this afternoon. And with that, we end the midday news.